They see themselves as that authority, and they recognize that those who believe in a higher power, whatever that may be, are not going to buy into them being that higher power or that authority.
What it do, what it do, what it do. Thank y'all for tuning in to Run the Receipts. I am your host, Mr. Receipts. Today we have a good one. We're going to take a look at Chris Williamson's podcast. He did an interview with Tulsi Gabbard. For those of you who don't know, she was an ex-congresswoman. She was a part of the Democratic Party. Then she went from the Democratic Party to the Independent Party, and then from the Independent Party to the Republican Party. So she has some insight on all three. She's going to talk about what exactly changed from the Democratic Party to what they are now. And it's interesting because me and my brothers, we have this conversation all the time. Like, what has changed? Because I'm from the Black community. And for any of us, who can relate, our family grew up Democratic. So it didn't matter who was president, we were going to vote Democrat. But something has changed along the way, especially this past, couple of years. And then you watch the election between Trump and Kamala, and the things that, in society that plague us never seem to be the topic of conversation for the most part in the Democratic Party. And I'm not saying that all Democrats are this way, but the ideologies have changed. So she's going to explain to us what exactly has changed. And I want you brothers and sisters to comment down below and let me know what your thoughts are. And also share this with your family members and let me know what you think. So let's take a listen.
Where's this come from? Is this a contamination zone from trying to maybe upend some of the history of the United States? Is it that, the sort of love of country and patriotism is right-coded, and so is maybe religious participation right-coded? And if we're not that, then it means that we're the... I don't understand, given that there's so many Americans who are religious, Christian, it just seems like you're shooting yourself in the foot and the face. Why would you do that?
A lot of the things that they're pushing fall into that category because they don't make sense, and they're so insanely radical that that there are very negative consequences to those policies, just at a basic human level. We talked about some of them already. Ultimately at its heart, and again, I don't find any logic or rationale to the actual reasonings that they're giving, but at its heart, when you have a party that is controlled by people who don't believe in objective truth, that for example, that there are biological differences between men and women, that they want to be the authority that tells us what is true and what is not true. They want to be the authority that tells us what is acceptable information, what is not, misinformation, disinformation, hate speech, violent speech, acceptable speech, whatever the case may be. They see themselves as that authority, and they recognize that those who believe in a higher power, whatever that may be, are not going to buy into them being that higher power or that authority and the ultimate, influencer that people should be concerned with. And so at its core, that is where this is coming from. It comes back to power and them seeing those who believe in God or who are following their particular spiritual path or faith as not being willing to bend the knee to the power of the Democrat elite and the positions that they hold in our government.
So interesting. So what she's telling you is anyone who has a moral compass from whatever religion that you believe in, whether it's Christianity, Muslim, if you're a Buddhist, so on and so forth, you at least have some type of moral code to yourself. There's some type of structure and order that you follow. The Democratic Party does not want you to have any type of faith and belief in any type of system except for their system. And that's why they push the ideologies that they push. And like Chris was saying, you're going to fail because this is a mostly Christian country. And these are the things that they believe in, and they so far left. Why is that? And like Tulsi said, the reason why it's that way is because they don't want you to follow Christianity or whatever religion or belief that you have. They want you to follow them. And think about how far-fetched it was. Because like I said, it didn't make any sense. Now we went to, instead of talking about policies, we're looking at the implementation of the transgender. We're looking at being able to mutilate yourself if you're a child. We're looking at what matters, in the gay community and who you sleep with, things of that nature. And that went back, as I was listening to this, that went back all the way to Obama. Because remember, he was the one that implemented the same-sex marriage. And then you remember the White House was a rainbow color. He was the first one to implement that, slowly but surely. So then you get up to this time and you kind of pay attention, because we were at a crossing point in our democracy. We were at a crossing point. We was worried about gas and how we're going to pay our bills, inflation, things of that nature. So it seemed like there were much more eyes on this election than per usual. So you were able to sit back and look at everything that was being implemented or wanting to be implemented between Trump and Kamala, and the ideologies was just totally different. And I think that's why a lot of people decided to vote for Trump this go round, because it just didn't make any sense. Like Tulsi said, we're looking at, having conversations with the Democratic Party, and we're talking about transgender. We're talking about mutilating kids. We're talking about things like that. We were not talking about things that would make this country better. And as I'm talking to my brothers, we're all coming to the conclusion that this has nothing to do with the country, and it definitely doesn't have anything to do with God. But that was what the structure of this country was built on. And it was totally different this go around. So I want to hear what you brothers and sisters' thoughts are. So please give me your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Send this to your family members so they can take a look at this, and I want to know what their thoughts are also. And until the next time, thank you for tuning in. Deuces.